Villagers, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. We always talk about slavery to be bad. But there are certain things that they gave us out of slavery that we think that with those ones, they are very good. According to Professor Lumumba, there are certain things we need to remember as blacks and never forget about them. That we should never forget that over 18 million people were taken from East Africa to the Arab world. And 12 million people were taken to Europe, to America, and the like. And the Church of England, the Roman Catholic Church, backed whatever that they were doing, even though they came out apologizing using the Bible. That the same Bible is what they use to colonize us. In the name of church, we were made slaves. In the name of Jesus Christ, we were made slaves. And when they abolish it, Christianity replace it. Africans do not want to accept the fact there are people who do believe as Africans. The Arabs only came to trade among us. They never enslaved us. But these people were even brutal to us than the Europeans and the Americans. They castrated our men. What these people did to us is so heartbreaking. The two people who came in contact with us never did anything good for us.
You must never forget that 18 million Africans were taken from the eastern part of Africa into the Arab world, and men were castrated. You must never forget that. Because the effect of it is with us today. We must never forget that over 12 million Africans were taken to the Caribbean, taken to Europe and America. We must never forget that. We must never forget that in Southern Africa, the apartheid regime was underwritten through verses from the Bible by the Dutch Reformed Church. We must never forget that. Upon a theology based in the Bible. Fact. We must never forget that the Roman Catholic Church was involved in slavery, and they have apologized for it. We must never forget that the Church of England was involved in slavery, and they have apologized for it, using the Bible. Theology. Slaves, obey your masters like you obey Christ. In the Bible. Not revised. You go and read it. There is a verse like that. So when we talk about theology and African problems, we must remember that the effects of slavery are alive and with us today. When slavery was gone, it is Christians again, William Wilberforce. And I can, through history, see him standing in the House of Commons saying that slavery should be abolished, but that Africans should not be freed even when slavery is abolished and slave trade. After slavery, colonization came. And as I speak to you, Europeans sat in Berlin in 1884 and 1885 and divided Africa into spheres of influence. Africa was a hunting ground, divided amongst the British, the Italians, the Dutch, the French, the Belgians, the Germans. And today we are in this assembly I'm using English language which was imposed on us. And those of you who come from English-speaking countries, you referred to as Anglophone. Those of you who come from French-speaking countries, you are referred to as Francophone. And those from Portuguese are referred to as Lusophone. Soon there'll be Sinophone. We don't speak Yoruba. I'm not speaking Yoruba. I'm not speaking Kiswahili. There is no Kiswahili interpreter here. There are only French and Portuguese and English. Part of the African problem. We are confused. When my friend resisted their being called a perfect Frenchman, I could understand his anger. Because the colonial project was a dehumanizing and humiliating process. And religion and theology were at the heart of it. That is why when the European colonizer, we used to be taught in school that the flag followed the cross. I went to Zanzibar, and a young man was taking me through the dungeons, and he showed me there was the school where they taught Africans that they may use them in their labor. There is the church that they touch their spirit, that they may be spiritually confused. And there is the hostel where they treated them that they may use them as labor. I'd never heard such interpretation.
One thing we have to understand as Africans is that we can only move and progress if we are able to do away with anything that is foreign. It's these things that are changing us. Now, the religion called Christianity is telling us before we can enter their heaven, we have to be baptized and our names have to be changed. So Africans are losing their identity. Your name in your local language is your identity. But today, these things are taken away from us. You go to Islam, it's the same thing. You must be changed before you can be like them. We have to dress to suit them. And we believe that these things are the only things that we can hold on to before we can inherit the heaven they promise us. The same books that these people gave to us, and we believe in them, telling us the slave must obey the master. Everything they need to control us is written in their books. Their books always talk about slavery. Why? Why will a God be concerned about other people being slaves to others? For what reason? There are a lot of things that are hidden in these books that we are not aware of. These people impose their way of life on us. And these are the things that we are holding on to. These people came to hunt us. And they did all manner of things to us. But today, we still hold on to what they gave to us. They have refused to give us anything except their God, except their religion. Why is there any other thing they do not want to give to us? And it's only their God, their way of life that they are imposing on us. They are only doing this to wash out your identity. Because when you know yourself, that is when you can fight for yourself. But the moment you lose hold of who you are, any other person can control you. We have to rise up, set ourselves free from all these shackles. There's no other person that can emancipate us, like Bob Marley said. It is a journey that you have to take it all by yourself. Dig deeper and set yourself free. Because until we are free from anything foreign, we can never actually fight for Africa. Because when we get to a point, this tool will be used against us. And we will start fighting among ourselves. And that unity we are looking for, we wouldn't get it. United we stand. Divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.